To those who seem discouraged by a board who has done nothing for our marginalized kids, remember a saying many Black elders say when they speak of the fight for civil rights. It's the same fight, different decade. Racism is not going away. Those who benefit from it are not going to want it to go away. So to the parents of BIPOC and otherwise marginalized kids, it's up to us to point out racism when we see it and do everything we can to protect our kids from it.
The Chino Valley School Board in Southern California has made headlines for its far-right policies that have even been cheered on Fox News. Earlier this year, Board President Sonia Shaw helped push legislation which outs trans kids to their parents.
Would you really want your child to hide something from you? Every single one of you in this room, would you really want your child to hide something from you? Yes, children are scared. My own child is scared to tell me that they've done something wrong because the consequences. I do not apologize that I, as a parent, not a board member, fought for and stood up for our girls in sports and bathrooms because it's common sense that one person's right would not take away the rights from another.
This woman had enough of the board's right-wing stunts.
I want to talk about a couple civic-minded entities. The first group is comprised primarily of middle-class white women. After years of conflict and unrest that largely featured their white brethren, they realized that they had a PR nightmare to handle. They didn't want the generations that came after them to think of them as anything but good people who loved the Lord and had strong, patriotic American values. They knew the only way to influence future generations was to be the ones that wrote the history the current generation studied. So they got to work. And they didn't just get to work altering factual events that turned into outright lies. They actually banned and eliminated books and lessons they thought painted them in anything but the best light. And what were their partners and families doing while this group was gaining traction? Oh, they had a group of their own. Only this group, made up primarily of middle-class white men, decided that changing curriculums and giving inaccurate lessons was not enough. They made it their mission to terrorize everyone who didn't believe what they did and didn't look the way they looked. By now, you're asking yourself, why would a president allow his nation to get torn right down the center in a way that would echo through time? Well, that's because he's the one that got the ball rolling. After taking office, he made his stance on everyone non-white and upper class very clear, paving the way for the groups I mentioned before. Oh, did you guys think I was talking about Ms. Shaw and her PragerU and Moms for Liberty besties? Or did you think I was talking about the Proud Boys she invites to terrorize marginalized kids just trying to make their voices heard? Or did you think I was talking about their actual Lord and Savior, Donald Trump? No, I was talking about the Daughters of the Confederacy who pushed the narrative that the Civil War was about state rights, the KKK that burned crosses and saw a resurgence in their numbers as a result of Woodrow Wilson, the president that screened the most racist film in cinema, Birth of a Nation, in the White House. And one more thing, if your kids, to the board, if your kids don't keep their secret, then what? What will you do next? Because every book you're banning and calling pornography would have helped you help any kids that don't keep their secrets navigate their new identity. So again, I ask, if they do share who they are with you, what are you going to do?